welcome. Please welcome our platform party. Stephen Stambaugh, University Faculty Marshal and Chair, Academic Senate. Dale Merrill, Dean, College of the Arts. Edward Fink, Interim Dean, College of Communications. Cheryl Fontaine, Dean, College of Humanities and Social Sciences. Susama Baruha, Dean, College of Engineering and Computer Science. Morteza Ramatian, Dean, Mahalo College of Business and Economics. Marie Johnson, Dean, College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics. Lisa Kurtman, Dean, College of Education. Lori Rhodes, Dean, College of Health and Human Development. Emily Bonney, Dean, Pollock Library. Hallie Hunt, Interim Dean of Students. David Forges, Vice President for Human Resources, Diversity, and Inclusion. Danny Kim, Vice President for Administration and Finance and Chief Financial Officer. Greg Sachs, Vice President for University Advancement. Amir Dabirian, Vice President Information Technology and Chief Information Technology Officer. Vanessa Acuna, President, Alumni Association. Layla Databoy, President, Associated Students. Silas Abrego, California State University Trustee. Berenicia Johnson-Eanes, Vice President for Student Affairs. Earl Lewis, keynote speaker. Carrie Knutson Miller, Provost and Vice President, Academic Affairs. From Rose Verge, President.
Welcome. Oops. Welcome. I'm Steve Stambaugh, Professor of Political Science, Chair of the Academic Senate, and I'm honored to serve as the University Faculty Marshal for the class of 2018's Commencement celebration. Yes. We will begin the university ceremony with the national anthem. Please stand as the Cal State Fullerton ROTC Honor Guard proceeds with the presentation of colors. Tenor Terrence Pagniban will be accompanied by the Titan Commencement Band led by Stephen Mapar.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, we would like to invite to the lectern the President of California State University Fullerton, Fram Vergy.
Thank you. On behalf of the faculty and staff and students and alumni of the California State University Fullerton, welcome to our 2018 commencement celebration. Woo! Welcome to returning Titans, to Titan parents, to grandparents, to families, to friends, and especially welcome graduates. To everyone else, if you're not here for Titan graduation, I think you might be in the wrong place. But stick around if you like, and you'll find that you'll like the Titan family. I do have to admit, it's a little strange for me to be standing here in front of all you graduating seniors, since I'm only a freshman. Sure, you think I've been here since January, but what you don't know is I was actually hired a year ago, but it took me 6 months to find a parking spot. And now that I've got that parking spot, I'm not ever leaving. As the new guy on campus, over the past 5 months, I've taken a crash course on what it is to be a Titan. And I've discovered 3 things that I think you should know before you graduate and give up your parking spot. First, California State Fullerton, which is about to become your alma mater, is a university of significance. What do I mean by that? Well, we all know that Cal State Fullerton is ranked among the top of national universities for the least amount of debt for students when they graduate. And yes, as you probably have heard, U.S. News & World Report ranks us in the top 25 most innovative schools in the country. But did you know that we are also ranked 13th in the nation for the most rigorous grading? Just think about that. If you're graduating from this university, you're ranked ahead of the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League school institution, in terms of the hardest place to earn an A. So let me ask you guys out there, how many of you earned at least 1 A while you were here? That's what I thought, pretty much everyone. Well, there's those 3 guys in the back. I'll talk to you later. So what does that mean? Well, it means you guys are good. It means that you could have chosen to go to college just about anywhere. It means that you could have graduated from just about anywhere. It means you could have succeeded just about anywhere. But let's be clear, you didn't choose anywhere. You chose Cal State Fullerton. You chose to be a Titan for life. And that makes us a university of significance. You make us a university of significance. The second thing that you should know is that you are graduates of significance. Okay, now I'm just making this stuff up, right? What do I mean, graduates of significance? Well, first of all, you worked incredibly hard to get here. Your average high school GPA was 3.7, which means 2 things. 1, you were very smart. And number 2, I probably couldn't get in here. More than half of you were first in your family to graduate from college. But trust me, you will not be the last. As a first-generation college graduate myself, I can tell you that you are not only changing your life with this degree, you are changing the narrative of your family and their legacy. You're opening doors of opportunity to people who haven't even been born yet. But before you get too full of yourselves, that doesn't make you the only hero in your family. In fact, the reason you are here at all is because of your families, which makes them the heroes. Graduates, look around this field. Those are your families cheering, hooting, laughing, smiling, and crying. No, not because you're finally moving out of the house, but because they've invested their lives and love and hard-earned money in you. And your achievement today marks the greatest return on their investment that they could ever hope for, a quality education. I know it wasn't easy. There are 12,000 in this Titan class of 2018. And while everyone on your journey to this stage had a wildly different journey, you are connected by the challenges you faced and the Titan spirit that propelled you to pass those challenges. In doing so, you blessed our world and this university with your unique gifts of intelligence and diversity. And on the subject of diversity, I want to be clear about what diversity is on this campus, what diversity means to Cal State Fullerton. First and foremost, we don't see diversity as some kind of obligation or impediment. We see it as our greatest strength. We also believe that obstacles to our diverse students that they face do not make them a liability, it makes them an asset. And we know that our diversity does not just benefit students of color or students from underserved communities or marginalized communities. It benefits all of us. It makes this a better place. That is why we are graduating more Hispanic students today than any other university in the state, and quite likely any other in the nation. That is why we are graduating more women today than any other university in the CSU system. That is why we are graduating more underrepresented students today than nearly any university in the country. And that is why we are graduating more first-generation students today than most universities in the nation. And that is why, not in spite of that diversity, but because of that diversity, the Titan class of 2018, the largest graduating class in our history, makes us a university of significance. It's also a big reason why, with your Titan degree, you are poised to excel in the marketplace. That's not hyperbole, graduates. You are well prepared to meet and exceed the workforce needs of Orange County and the world. And when you do so, your salaries will reflect the quality of your education. You likely already know that as a college graduate, you will earn $1.5 million more over your lifetime than someone who doesn't graduate from college. But did you know that you will earn more than your peers who did go to college but didn't go to Cal State Fullerton? This is true. Titan degree holders earn 12% more than the national average for graduates from public universities. And your mid-career salaries will be more than $20,000 higher than the national average for college universities. That's what Cal State Fullerton has done for you, and that's what you have done here. But let me be clear. This is not just about your tenacity. This is not just about your diversity. This is not just about your earning power. That's not all that makes you graduates of significance. It's also your aspiration to give back. Together, the class of 2018 performed 500,000 hours of community service this year. And I know you will take that benevolent spirit out into your communities. I'm also confident that you will not forget Cal State Fullerton or the CSU system. As many of you know, our state leaders continue to deny the CSU its sufficient funding. I'm proud of our college's decision by our university to take tuition off the table. But that means we need you, all of you, to let Sacramento know that a fully funded CSU results in a more prosperous California. You are living proof of that. So I see you on your phones out there. Go ahead and choose CSU hashtag when you send stuff out on social media. Let the state capitol know that we need fully funding. But don't just do that. Don't stop there. Be active. Register to vote. Community organize. Talk to your legislators. Run for office. Be the Titan leaders that I know you are ready to be. Get involved and give back to your alma mater when you're able. The next generation of Titans now looks to you to see what's possible. And with your support, anything is possible. And finally, number 3, you are the product of a faculty and staff of significance. I've met enough of you to know that when most of you talk about your faculty and staff, your eyes light up and they sparkle, and that's for a reason. You talk about faculty and staff who have changed your life. You talk about faculty of staff, some of you who've told me who have actually saved your life. You talk about how they care so much about your well-being, equal to what your grades might be. You talk about the research and immersive experiences they have partnered with you on, and that they saw things in you that you didn't see in yourself. In short, you talk about them as if they are family. And you know what? They are your Titan family. To be clear, our faculty and staff has the experience and credentials to teach just about anywhere in the world, including the Ivy Leagues and some money-flush private schools that they could definitely get paid more in and maybe even argue to have more prestige at. But they choose to be here because of the hope and promise that they see in all of you. That is what makes them faculty and staff of significance. That is what makes California State University Fullerton a university of significance. And most of all, that is what makes you graduates of significance. So I want to thank you. Thank you for welcoming this freshman president into this special circle of significance. Thank you for sharing in the Titan pride with the world as our newest alumni. And thank you for remaining connected through your alma mater. Remember, no matter how far your journey takes you, we are and always will be your Titan family. Don't forget to write. And heck, if you come back, I might even offer you a parking spot if you come and visit. Now, one more thing. Before I turn over the mic, I want to acknowledge the fact that 8 of our fellow graduates are missing tonight. No, I'm not calling them out for dissing university graduation. I'm calling them out because they are in Los Angeles right now representing the Titans at the NC2A Division I softball playoffs as back-to-back-to-back Big West champions. So we had a little chat with ESPN today, and they said that if I got a decent video of all of you cheering on your fellow graduates on the softball team, they'd air it on at the softball broadcast this weekend. So get ready. All right, gang, we're rolling. On count of 3, I want to hear "Go Titans." Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. If that doesn't send them up, I don't know what will. Thank you. And at this time, I'm pleased to present our keynote speaker, Earl Lewis, with an honorary doctorate degree from Cal State Fullerton. This honor is reserved for those who have made significant contributions within their fields and in doing so have enriched our state, our country, and the world. Today, lifelong Titan and CSU trustee Saya Abrego will present only the 18th honorary degree we have bestowed in our 60-year history. Trustee Abrego and Dr. Lewis, please join me at the lectern.
Thank you, President Verge, and I'm delighted that you found a parking spot. That's great. I will now read the citation from the California State University. Dr. Earl Lewis is a renowned scholar and noted author whose lifelong commitment to higher education has made a profound impact on advancing the causes of the arts, humanities, and diversity. Dr. Lewis most recently served as the 6th president of the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, during which time he advanced the foundation's mission, resolute in his commitment to advocate for the importance of diversity and the value of connecting universities to their communities. Under Dr. Lewis, the Mellon Foundation awarded grants in excess of $1.2 billion in support of higher education, the arts, and humanities. The foundation recently awarded a $2.2 million grant to fund the prestigious Mellon Mays undergraduate fellowship program for 5 CSU campuses, with California State University Fullerton serving as a lead institution. The transformative impact that the MMUF program on Cal State Fullerton will be vital to the success of underserved students, enriching their lives in immeasurable ways. Prior to joining the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, Dr. Lewis served as Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and as the Asa Griggs Candler Professor of History and African American Studies at Emory University. Dr. Lewis has held faculty appointments at the University of California, Berkeley, and the University of Michigan, while at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, where he was faculty member and graduate dean, he immersed himself in the legal battle over the university's use of affirmative action in admissions, which the Supreme Court eventually decided in 2003. He is now developing a long-term Mellon project that will produce annual reports showcasing scholarship on the value of diversity. Countless awards have been bestowed upon Dr. Lewis in recognition of his outstanding achievements and contributions to the educational community. He was named an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters by the Carnegie Mellon University, and he's also been awarded honorary doctoral degrees from Humane Letters from Rutgers University, New York, Dartmouth College, and Concordia College. In addition, he received an Outstanding Achievement Award from the University of Minnesota and the Harold R. Johnson Diversity Service Award from the University of Michigan. In recognition of his many exemplary achievements and contributions to higher education, the university, the arts, and communities, the Board of Trustees of the California State University and the California State University Fullerton are proud to confer upon Earl Lewis the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. I think that's the fourth one. Congratulations, Dr. Lewis. We are very proud to have you as an honorary member of the California State University and especially a member of the Titan family. Congratulations. The California State University system and its 23 campuses play a critical role in providing future leaders with the skills and knowledge they'll need to thrive in the workforce and help drive California's economy. With nearly 120,000 annual graduates, the CSU is the state's greatest producer of bachelor degrees. Consistently acclaimed as a top national university, Cal State Fullerton is one of our flagship campuses because of the innovative instruction and high-impact experiences offered. Titan grads are confident, well-prepared, and culturally competent. They are uniquely positioned to excel as leaders in the global marketplace. While there are many high-achieving students here at Cal State Fullerton, some of our most outstanding students include Maricruz Garcia, the recipient of the Excellence in Promoting International Education and Global Engagement Award. Kelvin Duncan, a distinguished scholar at the master's level who received the Giles T. Brown Outstanding Thesis Award. Ronald Norby, who received the Becky Robertson Award for the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. I am proud to represent the CSU Board of Trustees at this year's commencement, and I am always proud to be a Titan. Congratulations, class of 2018.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the lectern the Academic Senate Chair, Mr. Stephen Stambaugh.
As faculty, we truly have one of the best jobs in the world because we get to be a part of all of this. We get to be a part of your educational process. We get to mentor all these scholars who simultaneously teach us as we teach them. We get to guide students through the classroom, co-curricular activities, and faculty and student research. We love to be part of all of this because we know it's important for this generation of Titans to be leaders and active contributors to our culture, our society, and our economy. We faculty members see your potential from the moment you walk into our classrooms. We see it when you challenge yourselves with your dissertations, your graduate thesis projects. We see it when you pursue courses of study that you never thought you would try. We see it when you apply what you've learned in an internship or service learning environment. We see it through your struggles, through your triumphs, and through your celebrations like this one. We see that potential realized when you walk across the commencement stage and when you walk back onto campus as alumni mentors. Now, I'm a political scientist by trade, but like all of our faculty, I'm an educator because this is what we love. This right here is what we love. Whether it's seeing the traditional 18-year-old student moving from adolescence to adulthood, or the returning student who finally had the opportunity to take this step in their lives, maybe the veteran returning to civilian life, we are lucky to meet incredibly bright and interesting people at critical moments of their lives, and we can think back to the educator who inspired us to reach higher. Being able to play a part of that educational journey is why we do this. We are proud of what you've done, and we are proud of what you will do, not only as college graduates, but as Titans. Therefore, on behalf of the faculty of Cal State Fullerton, I say congratulations, and I say thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome Bernicia Johnson-Eanes, Vice President for Student Affairs.
Good afternoon. What a glorious day. How many times did you have to tell yourself along the way, I can do this? Well, guess what? You did it. Dear graduates, today you step into a new chapter of your life. Please take our greatest hopes and dreams and well wishes with you. We want you to know that it is with all our deep and devoted, caring devotion and affection that we send you off today. Do not fret or fear, because you have all you need. We know that you are Titans. We know that you have gained that pride, that focus, that determination that we know only comes from this amazing space where we are now. Go show the world what we know to be true, that you are amazing and you did it. You got this. You are going to keep doing it. Be sure that you know that we go with you and that every experience inside the classroom, outside the classroom, with your colleagues, with people you did not know before you came here, with people you did not think you could like, with professors you thought you could never be with, in the financial aid line, in the parking line, and in all the different spaces. You got this. You did it. Congratulations.
And now representing the student body, Layla Dadboy, President of Associated Students.
Hey, you guys, just got to adjust this really quick. I'm a little short. Thank you. Really quick, just wanted to thank Dr. Eanes. She's really inspiring, and those were some really excellent words to kind of pump you up. But first and foremost, I would like to extend congratulations to all of our graduates here today. You worked so hard to make it here this evening, and we're so proud to call you Titans. Like Dr. Eanes mentioned, we're all here celebrating all the successes that you've made. And like you heard from that one voice that we all don't really know where it comes from, my name is Layla Dadboy, and it is with extreme humility that I stand before you today as your student body president. Commencements are usually associated with well-educated or even highly decorated speakers, so most of you might be wondering what I'm doing up here. But don't worry, I also realize that we're all wearing the same thing, and that's kind of awkward, so I'm gonna go home and change. But before I head out, I'd like to give a shout out to the support systems all the way in the back who have by some miracle found parking and are here to cheer you on. Let's give it up for everyone who decided to be here today to sacrifice their Friday evening to watch you pick up a very expensive, a very special piece of paper. I wrote this speech like I wrote most of my final papers, in the dead of night, logged onto my best friend's Spotify account, in a robe very similar but significantly less expensive than the ones we're all wearing today. It was at this time, like most of you, that I reached an epiphany. We are the products of an incredible institution, graduating more women and members of the Chicanx community than most in our country. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. This is something to be proud of. We are part of a changing world, one that we all have the power to improve. And we've all been taught to think critically, listen well, and push ourselves to be the very best. Now, I have not lived a life so rich to be able to grace you with my own words of wisdom. So like many of you would, I Googled inspirational commencement speakers and have decided to leave you with this quote from Shonda Rhimes. I think a lot of people dream. And while they are busy dreaming, the really happy people, the really successful people, the really interesting, engaged, powerful people are busy doing. Thank you, class of 2018, and congratulations. On behalf of the entire student body, I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Earl Lewis, and the Mellon Foundation for the incredible investment in the CSU and Cal State Fullerton. We are thrilled to have you as our distinguished guest today. So, graduates, friends, and family, please welcome to the lectern our keynote speaker, Dr. Earl Lewis.
Thank you, Layla, for that kind introduction and welcome to your campus. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's try that again. Good afternoon. There we go. We gather on this day at this time to salute the Cal State University Fullerton graduating class of 2018 for staying the course, overcoming challenges, setting aside failures, appropriately accepting success, and most importantly, graduating. This is an outstanding achievement, and I'm honored to share in this moment with you. I would also like to extend a very heartfelt thank you to President Vergy and his executive team for their courtesy, former President Garcia for the initial invitation, and the Cal State University Fullerton Board of Trustees and Assistant Board of Trustees for an honorary degree and this opportunity to serve as your commencement speaker. Graduates, how many of you have family, friends, and teachers who backed and supported you through your higher education experience? Let's see a show of hands. Please join me in recognizing these special individuals in your lives with a round of applause. We're at that critical moment. Their job is done. In fact, if you listen closely, you can hear a collective sigh of relief coming from loved ones in the audience. However, graduates, your job, deploying the discipline of mind that comes with the pursuit of knowledge for the betterment not only of yourself and your family, but also the greater society, is just beginning. Now that you are about to receive your degree, how many of you have asked yourself, or had others ask you, was the college degree worth it? The time, the expense, deferral, or gratification? Let's see a show of hands. Your questioning and this questioning is part of an ongoing social debate about what we value and why. I, for one, am delighted that you stuck it out, earned your degree, and are prepared to enter life as a college graduate. A little over a year ago, 2017, Stanford researcher Raj Chetty entered the debate on whether college mattered, especially for the first-generation students and their families. The year before Chetty released his study, Anthony Carnevale and his colleagues at Georgetown University Center on Higher Education and the Workforce released a study about employment after the Great Recession. Carnevale and team found that by 2015, of the 11.6 million jobs that had been created post-Great Recession, 8.4 million had gone to those with a bachelor's degree or higher. 3 million had gone to those with at least some college, and only 80,000 had gone to those with a high school degree or less. So perhaps it's not so surprising then that Chetty, making use of IRS data and other sources, found not only that college mattered, but that some colleges played an even larger role in aiding individuals and their families ride the upward mobility escalator. What surprised many about his findings? Not one of the highly touted institutions was an Ivy League school or one of the so-called potted Ivies, those well-resourced private liberal arts colleges. Disproportionately, public institutions such as Cal State Fullerton predominated. Of the top 35 four-year colleges of universities that provided the best path for mobility, your soon-to-be alma mater ranked number 29. Now that's significant because you know that there are over 4,000 post-secondary institutions in this United States of America. This achievement reflects the commitment to a vision of opportunity born 60 years ago. It reflects the determination of 2+ generations of faculty who dedicated themselves to the art and science of teaching and learning. It's embodied in the personhood and the professionalism of faculty such as Associate Professor of Mathematics, Cherie Ichinoze, herself a Fullerton alum. She is this year's recipient of the Carol Barnes Excellence in Teaching Award and was praised along the way for being able to explain complex concepts in a clear manner, as well as for her passion for mentoring students and preparing them for life off campus. This movement up the escalator of opportunity is mirrored in the campus, its composition and achievements. With an undergraduate population nearly 42% Latino or Latina, you have already anticipated the nation's future. As important, in words and deeds, you have come to understand that diversity by the numbers is not the same as inclusion and community building. By all indications, from your strategic plan to your measurable outcomes, community is important to the success you have realized. As notable, your community reflects a season of achievements all around. On the athletic fields, as we already heard, go Titans. In the laboratories, and in a general sense that we must shape the future rather than being shaped by the events of the future. That, I sense, is the Cal State Fullerton way. As you, the class of 2018, continue your ascent up the escalator of life, I ask that you reflect on the additional jobs you must shoulder in the years ahead. Your alma mater exists because a previous generation identified a need and chose to lead. Each age has its demands and needs. Today, there is a need for clear-eyed leadership. We yearn for political leaders guided by something more than self-interest. We desire headlines in the morning that put us at ease rather than spike our blood pressure before the first sip of coffee. We want leaders of all types who believe in service to advance the common good, who craft bills that improve our infrastructure, laws that boost public education and the welfare of children, strategies that advance a bipartisan approach to our grand challenges. We pine for leaders who understand getting the job done is far more important than receiving credit for getting it done. No doubt you may come to ask, am I such a leader? I'm quiet and like getting things done behind the scenes. I don't have the resume or experience to be a leader. That's just not my thing. You must decide how to use your talents for the betterment of all. The list of would-be causes is seemingly infinite. Climate change, education, automation, opiate, and other addictions. Racism still injures and kills, as do futile efforts to divide by language, ethnicity, religion, and place of birth. Each is worthy of champions, of individuals ready to lead. You know, moreover, the basic laws of physics and social engagement. For every action, there's an equal reaction. So don't step forward and expect an easy time. As we've seen in recent years, there are many who have a different vision of the world, and they will fight to see their vision prevail. Your advantage, you have a Fullerton education. You have not been trained, you have been educated. With that education, you're prepared to help fashion solutions to the pending changes we are to see once artificial intelligence, or AI, limits the need for wide domains of human labor. Some of you may have read, this July we're told McDonald's will employ its first robots at a restaurant in Phoenix. Think of that, a fully automated Mickey D with only a handful of human helpers. Much of the focus has been on AI's impact on long-distance truck driving, and for good reason. By most estimates, at least 2 million in that industry are positioned to lose their livelihoods in the coming decade. Some have proposed a universal basic income as the answer. But you have learned in your history, sociology, and religion courses that a source of financial security is only a part of the answer. That course that paired economics and psychology taught you to ask, what makes for a sense of self-worth? Is it the money we possess, or the ability to answer the age-old question, what do you do? In your engineering program, you learned about the creation of new technologies, ones we haven't imagined yet. Collectively, you have learned that a ride up the escalator of life must include family and community members for advancement to be complete. Your Fullerton education, moreover, has taught you to avoid simple answers to complex problems. You appreciate that many may find automation to be a friend and a foe, depending on the sector and the job. Future work will not only privilege those with a college degree, you understand. AI is positioned to alter accounting, medicine, printing, and a variety of other jobs. As a college graduate, you will be challenged to think about how to use your learning, talents, and innovation to change industries and to improve lives. As a result, you will develop strategies to ensure that school teachers never have to work 2 jobs to make ends meet because too many don't want to pay taxes and fall prey to the false theology that you can have it all but not pay for it all. You will tell the story of the power and importance of diversity. After all, your liberal arts education exposed you to the science of genetics and the sociology of demographics. You learned that all humans share 99.9% of the same genetic material. You know that we have crafted a binding story about difference based on 1/10 of 1%. Nonetheless, you understand that the false narrative has a hold on lives if your passport doesn't say USA. You recognize and see your brothers and sisters in learning confront the unstable category DACA. You understand that borders are meant to be bridged rather than policed, that healthy communities not only promote internal bonding, they encourage external bridging. And you know what the demographers tell us. By 2044, this country will have a non-white majority, and that our collective welfare will hinge on our ability to define, leverage, and value the growing diversity in our midst. So leave this place with pride and humility, with a sense of the power of an education and the obligations that come with having earned that education. Before you do, I have one last assignment for you all. Graduates, because you are among the best and the brightest, I challenge you to go one step further than most. So stand up, please stand up. All right, graduates. Repeat after me. We, the 2018 graduating class of California State University, Fullerton, we'll try that one more time. We, the 2018 graduating class of Cal State Fullerton, will think about our obligations as we ride the mobility escalator. We will nurture and promote our passion for social involvement and change the world responsibly. Let's try that again. We will change the world responsibly. One last time. We will change the world responsibly. Thank you. You may be seated. If you remain faithful to this moment in time and faithful to your educational and individual values, you will have done more than earn a degree today. Years from now, you will have used your skills, talents, and intellect for the benefit of all. I am confident that you are prepared, and I am grateful to have had this opportunity to see you off on your journey. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the world, and I extend my sincerest congratulations. Do well, graduates, and do good, because you can. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carrie Knutson Miller, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs.
Good afternoon. Class of 2018, on behalf of the Division of Academic Affairs and together with my dean colleagues, I congratulate you and celebrate your accomplishments. Are you ready to begin recognition of the graduates? First, we would like to recognize each group of honors graduates. Outstanding scholastic achievements at the baccalaureate level are recognized by the awarding of honors. In recognition of their scholastic excellence, all honors graduates are presented with a medallion. Individuals graduating at the highest level are wearing medallions with blue ribbons. Summa cum laude graduates, please stand and remain standing. Summa cum laude graduates. Magna cum laude graduates are wearing medallions with orange ribbons. Please stand and remain standing. Magna cum laude and summa cum laude graduates. Finally, will those wearing medallions with white ribbons and graduating cum laude please stand as well? Woo! Lots of you. Congratulations to our honors graduates. We are so very proud of you. You may be seated. Or you could stand, but then seat again. Next, those who have participated in special scholar groups will be recognized. Students in the University Honors Program participate in a 24-unit academic program that culminates in a research or creative-based program in their senior year. Each student has maintained a 3.5 GPA or higher and has earned a medallion for their efforts. University honors graduates, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. The President's Scholars participate in a comprehensive, rigorous program that offers outstanding experiences and opportunities in academics, leadership, service, and mentorship. Will the graduates of the President's Scholars Program please stand to be recognized? The wind just blew my page. Just wait 1 second. I have no idea where we are. But the doctoral students are getting ready to come to the stage. All right, woo! Thank you. Now, we celebrate the Titans who have reached the highest academic degree here at Cal State Fullerton. We are proud to celebrate those who have completed the Doctorate of Education or the Doctorate of Nursing Practice program. It is my pleasure and privilege to perform the hooding ceremony with Dr. Lisa Kurtman, Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Lori Rhodes, Dean of the College of Health and Human Development, and President Virgie.
Richard Das, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Andrea Farajan Sims.
Twaquidine Zamil, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Temperance Daudou.
Abayomi Lawal, Nursing DNP.
Cheryl Samoff.
Yolanda Casgrande, Nursing DNP.
Antonio Banks.
Lupe Zepez Michel, Nursing, Doctorate of Nursing Practice.
Gary Gordon, Education.
Jennifer Guzman, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Michelle Marie Cuyar Garcia.
Elena Meza Ward, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Alicia Monique Kirkwood.
Anthony Maukowri, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Mercedes Luna.
Dane Shoemaker, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Carolyn Hoover.
James Etteldorf, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Anna Stiles Hanlon.
Ronald Norby, Nursing, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Marie Hewlett.
Laura Scharf, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
James Reed.
Noreen Clark, Nursing.
Kaveh Barani.
Cecilio Victor K, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Rihanna Mendoza.
Bernadette Rose Robertson, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Alicia Sanchez Vandenberg.
Jan Serrano, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Griselda Ramirez Maldonado.
Alana McGorlick, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Jennifer Olia.
Monique Espinoza Velasco, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Rosa Maria Murillo.
Susan Shenkowski, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Camille Mora.
Donna Tran, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Deborah Laser.
Agioma Eze, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Johanna Sandoval.
Sharonda Williams.
Cindy Green.
Jessica Lee Tran, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Kimberly Corrigan Case.
Zenaida Coe, nursing practice.
Christine Eggert Mayfield.
Cherry Macalino, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Scott Turner.
Maggie Lazardi Weiss, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Amelia Velasquez.
Daniela Leslie, Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Jacob Cardenas Munoz. Jess Knowles. And our final doctorate in education, John Saunier Berg. Congratulations to these outstanding graduates on their important accomplishments. Now, seeing as you are almost alumni yourselves, I would like to introduce you to Vanessa Acuna, President of the Cal State Fullerton Alumni Association. A true Titan, she earned her bachelor's degree, teaching credential, and a master's degree here at Cal State Fullerton.
Good evening, graduates. My name is Vanessa Acuna, class of 2002 and 2007. It is an honor to serve as your Alumni Association president. On behalf of more than 265,000 Titan graduates who have come before you in the past 60 years, congratulations. We are so proud of you because collectively we know the strength, fortitude, and dedication you invested to reach this milestone, and we applaud you. Through your years here, Cal State Fullerton alumni have appreciated the opportunity to cheer you along. Alumni were there with you starting at orientation and further on with displays of encouragement and solidarity. Some displays of this encouragement would include the following award winners: Rachel Herzog, an economics student from Mahalo College of Business and Economics for Outstanding Senior Award, and Christine Raleigh, a grad student of philosophy from Humanities and Social Science for our Outstanding Graduate Award. Both will receive a monetary award to assist them in fulfilling their continued educational endeavors. This is an example how CSUF alumni share a culture of providing support to fellow Titans and reinforcing our motto that Titans reach higher. Thank you to the nearly 1,600 of you who have already shown your commitment to securing your lifelong connection to Cal State Fullerton by joining the Alumni Association. As you leave campus today, take a moment to look around you and reflect that there are 40,000 more Titans engaged in the journey that you have just completed. We invite you to come back home to Cal State Fullerton often and share your talents and knowledge with the next generation through the Alumni Association. Because once a Titan, always a Titan. Thank you for making us proud and enjoy the celebration.
President Verge, on behalf of the faculty of Cal State University Fullerton, I am pleased and honored to present to you the graduates and candidates of the class of 2018 for the conferring of their degrees.
Are you ready? It's with great pleasure and honor before valued family and friends, and upon the recommendation of the administration and the teaching faculty of California State University Fullerton, and by authority vested in me as president of the university by the California State University Board of Trustees, to confer upon all of you completing requirements the degree for which your name is listed in our commencement program, together with the rights, privileges, opportunities, and responsibilities to our society that attach thereto. Your diploma will stand as a testimony to your possession of these degrees. As a symbol of conferral of your degree, baccalaureate candidates may now move their tassel from the right side of their caps to their left. Congratulations!
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that the graduates and audience remain seated as the platform party exits the stage. When the platform party has exited, please proceed to the location of your college or department ceremony. Thank you.